Well, hello everyone. Here, talk about right here. I talk about for shipping and handling right here. And most of us have seen this ad before. I talk about for Amazon orders if it's going to be on maybe another website. It could be Walmart.com or BestBuy.com or maybe another website that we might be familiar with so far as taking online orders. And you see right here, but this right here will be example right here of an ad I went and put together. And yeah, that with this ad that let's just say that you were talking about in this ad that maybe the original plan was mainly about is to where that whenever you took on a job that you were mainly in charge of writing down the orders and maybe reading them off to and then maybe explain to the customers about how the service works or maybe hand off catalogs and yeah that whenever you start somewhere that it seems like that like the first thing that you were mainly doing was maybe calling a number or maybe writing down ideas for really about what you want to shop for and that sorts of stuff. And it could be clothes. I'm like, yeah, that if you're going to be shopping around online, the first thing that you might want is maybe a highlighter. I'm like, yeah, that if you want to go ahead and order a highlighter online or maybe some you know a dry erase board or something like that, or maybe some erasers, some school supplies. And so you're likely thinking as to where that nowadays with our phones that you could even place those orders. But still though that with talking about with shipping though, and I know that the first thing that somebody may want to where that yeah, that how are you going to get it? Even though if like yeah, that yeah, if you know anybody that said that maybe don't know very much about computers, and they're going to say is to where that they're going to be looking at something on the screen, like in the catalogs. I know in the catalogs, maybe a little bit like Girl Scout cookies that. Whenever you actually see that item, and then you're going to say that, wow, that's but so yeah, whenever you're at the mall, even whenever you're at the mall, that a lot of times it seems like whenever you actually see that item that's actually there, then yeah, a gift box. And how many of us are going to maybe say that as to where that yeah, especially maybe at the post office that maybe not all packages are going to be decorative like this right here that we would see like maybe like a ribbon. You see like maybe like a little ribbon, a big bow or something like that tied on the top of the package. So it's like, yeah, that talking about with like any sorts of bow or something like that. I'm like something that so yeah, like a package right here. So in case of anybody that may want to where the yeah package, huh? Like yeah, package, something to where that it'll be a package delivery, just kind of like that right there. And whenever you actually see that package delivered, I'm like, yeah, the delivery. Whenever you're going to the post office to pick up something, then a lot of times that they'll give you a pink slip and form stating to where that the order is ready. So it's like, yeah, that yeah, that the form looks something like this right here, to where it would show that the order information right there, from Amazon or where the sites. You say go to the post office to pick up your order, and a lot of times it boxes are bigger small boxes, and yeah, a lot of times it yeah. So the most I guess so whenever you're going to be ordering something online, then yeah, that maybe not all packages I guess are going to have that special ribbon. Some of them are going to maybe be like package delivery, kind of like this right here, to where that they're going to be packaged. They're going to be packaged, but it's going to be like, say, like a normal black and white source of folder, and it's going to have like, for Prime, if you got your Amazon order, it would have Prime right there labeled, and a lot of time it say that is to where if you're going to be ordering, or if you're going to be placing your orders, and if you select that 5-day, the standard shipping and handling, then you would earn $1, a $1 credit, on top of your account just to be able to access, a stream of the music and movies. So yeah, that they're now offering it to where that you will be able to earn $1, but But I can tell anybody here that, yeah, that, and of course, where do I really blame, like, yeah, that, yeah, well, that those, that dollar is going to expire too, and sometimes, in case of anybody that may want to, we're all going to be getting busy, especially during a week or so, maybe after 30 days, and you're likely wondering too that, why is it that $1 expires? After about maybe, 3 weeks or so, they only give you so much time to use it, just to be able to make purchases from your account, through your Prime member, or that, yeah, that if you're going to be, if you're going to have an account through like, maybe the Apple Store or somewhere like that, maybe the Apple Store, and like I say, they're going to maybe only give you so much time, really, just to make a purchase, maybe on through the smartwatches, that if you want to order anything from there as well, But usually, that whenever you get a package like this, and if you're going to be mailing this to somebody, so let's just say that if you're going to be placing an order for somebody, and that they see how this person is going to see how it works, and say if it's going to be received and if it's going to be delivered as a gift, and you're likely thinking too is to where that, yeah, that have right here is, and let's just say that if it is going to be somebody that maybe that, yeah, but how many of us that don't know what online order is? I'm like, about almost a lot of us now would know exactly about how it works, and I guess maybe that that the reason could be is toward it, that they don't know how it works, maybe from the mobile devices or something like that. But let's just say that if it's possible that you don't know how it works, or maybe that you don't have. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't have a credit card, or I'm like, so most of the time what I usually hear is I don't have a computer, so that's why I had to go up to the local store just to do this. So yeah, that you might come up to that point to where you're going to have some customers, they're going to maybe ask as to where that, oh, okay, well, I don't have a computer, so yeah, if they're going to be shopping around for something, and then the first thing they're going to maybe ask is that, okay, well, that's on the computer, though, and, how would I get it? So, yeah, most of the time when we're shopping in those stores, like maybe Kmart or somewhere in the mall, then a lot of times, maybe if it's the cosmetic products, then you're also thinking is toward that, you want to go ahead and get your shopping done, and do your shopping, and then you are able to put something in your cart. You'll have a little handbag of maybe some makeup, or maybe if it's a dress shirts, or maybe some dresses or something like that. You're able to shop, so, at some place and actually get what you're shopping for there and then at the store. So it's like, yeah, that how many customers are going to have that to where that well, I really don't want to have to wait 3 or 4 business days to get this order. And so how are we going to really explain to these customers about that is to where that, okay, sir, ma'am, this is what we can do. So yeah, that, and I know that nowadays with online shopping, that how many of us really are going to really use it more often. And I can tell anybody here that, a lot of times, I can remember back when I was a young kid, that yeah, back when I was a little boy, that I seen a lot of these commercials that came on like on a Saturday night, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and a lot of things that that I wanted, even in the kettle. I'm like, yeah, that that there would be like average commercials about restaurants opening up around town, but still though that a lot of what I usually see, though, would be like, yeah, the Home Shopping Network. I mean, how many of us are familiar with that? They would come on TV, and they would say something like that we're open, until 3 or 4 o'clock a.m. So if you got any questions, please give us a call. Yeah, the Home Shopping Network. How many of us are familiar with the Home Shopping Network? Yeah, they would sell stuff on TV, jewelry items and electronics, that sorts of stuff. But really, that back whenever, I'm like, yeah, and I know that what was the reason why you never ordered anything from the Home Shopping Network? That program would come on between 9 p.m. until it would stay on until about 3 or 4 AM, something like that, and then they would sell all kind of jewelry, and they would sell shirts and makeup, and so yeah, the Home Shopping Network, and I don't even know if they have a new name by now, but still though, that you would there'll be a number on the screen that you will be able to call just to be able to place your order, just to be able to do your shopping. But it seemed like either it was because that maybe you didn't know how to have the money, or you did just that you prefer maybe going to a store and actually shopping around for it, because most sites nowadays require a credit card, and how many of us will probably see not everybody's going to have a credit card. So let's just say if they start doing this sort of stuff, maybe for the pharmacy department, if you're going in there to pick up your medicine, and if you don't have a credit card, then half the time you one or two is to where that maybe if they're going to do something later on about is to where that if you want to pay with cash, then we can accept PayPal. So yeah, a few sites that even accept PayPal, and then maybe that if it's gift cards, and I know I mentioned about gift cards before too, but still though that how many customers are going to maybe ask that question to where that please do you accept gift cards? I'm like, yeah, I got a gift card here, and so yeah, the last post you talk about for Amazon, but I can tell anybody here that for like gift cards though, that maybe that a lot of the time it's not really the fact about is to where that whenever you go to that site, and then you're not able to find anything that you like to have, but still though that shopping habits, and I know that well, what can we really tell our doctor is to where that shopping habits. What is it? How do you describe a shopping habit? I guess if you want to call it, is to where that you're spending more money, and that you're spending maybe more time. That you were supposed to do maybe the dishes, you were supposed to do the laundry at a certain time. So whenever you're going to be shopping around, that sometimes it seems like that it may take about maybe 5 or 10 or maybe 15 minutes just to be able to do your shopping. Even shop from home. Yeah, so there about be a number of reasons to why we do this or do that, or we spend more time looking around. But really though that what I usually see whenever you're shopping on sites like Amazon though is that you are able to find a lot of things that you're shopping around for. So let's just say if you are shopping around for toothpaste and maybe light bulbs, those are sorts of things that that you can go to your local grocery store to get those. And so yeah, that anything that that you usually get there at the local store, and let's just say that if they're out of the king size candy bars, and you can try to find them online too. So how can we help? How do we help that to where that? How do we handle that? To where that exactly that as shopping does become a habit, and in case of anybody that may want to where that there was a time to where you didn't know much about it until you were introduced by these advertisements, and so it's like that it becomes, I guess if you kind of call it, it becomes kind of addicting, and it does become like a habit to where you start spending more money, you start getting more things, you start placing more orders, but we may say too is to where that we don't make the prices. But I tell you one thing, though, that what have we learned about whenever we do that? So it's like, in case of anybody that may want to where that you are known as what you call one of the family. I'm like, that you're not you try to be careful with your money as much as you can, but sometimes that you can spend more than what you were wanting to spend. And if you have any money, if you have enough money, amount on the card, or if you have enough money on the gift card. So I guess they would maybe suggest, if anything, it's recommended to go ahead and put that on a wish list. If you want to go ahead and get into your account and add that to a wish list, which you can do that at any time, is that you can add that to your wish list to add for your order to put in your cart for later. So it seems like that a lot of the things that you're going to be shopping around for, even online, that you're going to need those. And even though if it's you need it even for your doctor, if your doctor wants you to take any medicine that he asks you to buy you maybe any eardrops or maybe band-aids or bandages or something like that, and then you can get those online too. And you're also warned too that yeah, exactly, that it's like but still that in case of anybody that may wonder too that how come EBT is not accepted online, and how come your insurance, yeah, like AARP or Medicare or Medicaid, United Healthcare, and then Blue Cross Blue Shield, how come some of those insurances are not accepted through like a site through Amazon? And if you're ordering vitamins online, then how come that not very many of them even ask you about what insurance? Your insurance will be able to pick up some of the cost of some of these items. But I guess right now that with Prime member that it seems like is to where that as of right now that you'll get reimbursed. Any out of pocket expenses that you paid then and now, and then within about 5 business days, and you get reimbursed. But it seems like that's usually how it works. Is that we may not think that it's very fair. Just like filing their taxes, that that costs money, and it costs a lot of money just to be able to get that prepared. But I guess if you want to call us as to where that you'll get reimbursed, if anything, within about maybe a couple of days. That whenever something the information is processed. So in case of anybody that may want to where that really for what you really call a full-time job, that is really shopping really considered a full-time job? Would you rather be saving your money? Back whenever we were young, that we had those piggy banks, and then you learn too is to where that about how much money do you think that you'll be able to save in a week, and you likely say, well, how in the world am I going to be able to come up with that amount of money for the big screen TV, or maybe for the cell phone, or for the watch, how in the world am I going to be able to save up for $400 within a week? But I can tell anybody here that. With online shopping, though, that if you're going to have a gift card, and maybe that you can maybe talk about your delivery service and the receiving, though. So let's just say, though, that whenever I first started, that I was shopping around, but then if you're going to be placing your order for somebody else, and then as a gift, and then a lot of times, though, that if you're going to have this, if this was like the customer service counter right here, or maybe at the post office, and it's like, by the time you learned the basics about how it works, it's like you got a delivery here, and even if it's printing paper and ink and toner, or maybe if it's maybe for like a Kindle, maybe earphones or something like that, and whenever you have a package delivered, and how many of us really feel proud? Like, maybe you feel like $1 million whenever you get a package delivered, and it's like, whenever you get a package delivered, a lot of times you feel pretty proud whenever you have a package delivered, if it's big or small. But exactly that, is it supposed to feel a little bit like your birthday, whenever you get a package in the mail, that a lot of times you look forward to that. Almost everybody's going to look forward to that, even if it's batteries. And even if it is a candy bar, that maybe not all packages are going to be specially wrapped, but whenever you get something in the mail, that you usually feel proud of that. And so it's like, that if that's what you call one of the only exciting parts about it, is that you do complete your order. But sometimes, though, in case if anybody that may want to where you may have to wait about maybe 5 or 10 business days just to get that order. And so in case of anybody that may want to where that waiting, though, waiting is not everybody's favorite. And so it's like, that waiting, though, whenever you shop online, a lot of times it seems like that's usually what you have that in the process, is to where that whenever you shop online, even by mobile, okay, well, you got to wait up to 75 or 82 hours. You have to wait up to 82 hours to be able to get your order. And so, yeah, how many of us are going to maybe think is to where that maybe if it's a bag of chips or something like that, oh, I can't wait 3 days. I need it now. If it maybe a shampoo, and how many ladies out there are going to maybe think is to where if it's makeup or shampoo, if it's shampoo, they order shampoo online, and let's just say that that if they can go pick up there at the store, but let's just say that they're told that they have to wait 2 business days for it to be delivered, and that I guess I don't know, it's I guess maybe that is one of the only reasons to why that somebody would prefer to just go into the store and see if they had it in stock there in the store. But I guess besides the waiting part, I'm like sometimes though I ordered a camera online, and I can tell anybody here that it only took about maybe 4 hours. If they had it in stock there at the store, then it was only about maybe a 4 hour wait, until I got a confirmation email stating to where that your order was ready for pickup. You're there at the customer service. So yeah, that so in case of anybody that may want to word it, that especially around the holidays. But I also want to mention to everybody here too about satellite TV. That you hear about that a lot of times as to where that back I think it was back in 1995, but whenever they first announced the satellite TV. That I think I don't know if Walmart has it to where that you can buy the packages there, and then that if you make a Office I think obviously, or Best Buy, I think it's Best Buy. If you order a package and then it's delivered, I don't know if you got have it delivered or if you got called a number, but that you would be able to. For satellite TV, but that you get satellite TV, and you hear about that to where that satellite TV, it's cheaper, but that was back in 1995. So in case if anybody say whenever about how old were you whenever you were first introduced to satellite, if you ever had satellite TV, but you were told about HD, and all that. I'm like, the packages that you get, the TV packages and stuff like that you get. But nowadays they have this streaming, where you can actually watch TV on like a web, online. But anyway, talk about for full time though, and so in case of anybody that may want to wear that back, whenever I was young, that the first thing that I would have seen was like the commercial advertisements on TV. And so it's like, that you're able to jot down that number that you see on the television, and then you call the number, and then the first thing they're going to maybe tell you is that, oh, well, they might not even say that you have to be 18 or older. If I can remember right, whenever I called that number just to be able to place an order, that exactly that, and I know that they probably changed the rules since then. But one thing that I do remember was a lot of times is I did not have the money to be able to complete that order, or that information that they were collecting. I'm like, So in case of little kids are just going to be doing their thing whenever they're young. A little 12-year-old kid that's going to maybe call one of those numbers and want to order, maybe bath and maybe a bubble bath, products or something like that, something that they wanted to have on TV. And so in case of anybody say that, you're going to see something that you want on a catalog, and what are you going to do? You're going to go in and call that number, just to be able to place the order. And, it's like, but still, though, that, but on the other hand, that, you hear about that on the radio too, so it's like that. How is it that how is it really considered a habit, if possibly that if it's really necessary? Because in case of anybody that may want to wear that, I guess about how it's handled. So I guess a lot of questions and concerns come up to that point to where that if you see something on TV. That maybe, I guess there's a difference between what you want and what you need, or if it's all about is that, okay, well, number one, you really got to know what you're doing. So yeah, if you have a gift card, and then yeah, it's like, say, if you call the number and they're gonna explain to you about how it all works, and then warranties, and yeah, that a little bit about that, how to order, Mike. So yeah, that so I'm sure that a lot of little kids have experienced that, to where if they're going to be on their video game, and then there's going to maybe be an on-demand movie that they're going to want to watch or something on a video game, on a video game. On a video game, if you earn enough points, then maybe you can earn money just to be able to buy a game from a game console. So nowadays they have this Xbox, and then the Xbox and Nintendo Wii U, and then they also have the PlayStation 4, the Sony PlayStation 4, to where you can actually have an account. And so a lot of parents will probably say, well, how in the world? I'm like, yeah, that you make it real convenient for a lot of the kids, a lot of customers too, but really though, that it could also be maybe a little bit of a bad habit, a bad habit. And like I say, how in the world are you going to try to teach our kid? I'm like, yeah, are we going to have to teach each other basics about to where that lessons learned, to where to do not abuse the rule. I'm like, yeah, if you had to set the rules and regulations about how shopping and how the use of the service works. But I can tell anybody here too that for anything about working the process about shopping online, and I guess that you could probably say is that I also keep thinking too, is to where that first of all, that you really mainly were working on this activity just to say that you knew somebody who was trying to look for a puzzle. They were trying to order a puzzle or a coloring book online, and then you got it for them, and then they ask you later on if you can check out if they have anything else there in the store, and then you will be able to order it for them. So it seems like it all kind of starts as to where that you mention it to somebody, and so yeah, that whenever you hear about that on the radio too, especially at the car lots, at the car lots, credit card companies, and you hear those commercials quite a bit. But sometimes, though, that in case of anybody that may want to, where what's the fastest way of how you get customers really to respond, and ways of how we can say is that this is how it works, and this is the special offers and the special deals, and so it seems like it may not seem like that it's really a job at number one, but let's just say that if I could say for a little brother would be considered a job, is that that little brother, by saying this, to where that somebody's going to say, well, can you do me a favor and go ahead and order this for me? So that so in case of anybody that may want to, you're going to maybe have a parent that's going to maybe ask you to do me a favor, okay, and order this lotion for me. And so order it for me. So that whenever you order something for somebody, then really, what does that mean? In case of anybody that may want to, well, what does it mean that you're buying it for them? And I'm like, well, are you really just buying it for them, or are you really just going through the whole process about that? You get into your account, and then you select the item, and you go through the steps as to where to complete your order, and submit your order, and you tell them when it's going to arrive. Please come here at this time to pick up your order. And so I know now that this is Amazon. I'm talking about Amazon orders here, but let's just say that if it is maybe the pharmacy department, if there's going to be a way of like, that how many senior citizens out there they're going to say that if it is the pharmacy department, and are they going to maybe need somebody like me, like the digital designer? I'm like, that somebody that knows a lot about digital coupons, and they see something like this, an ad. They see an ad like this, and they're going to say that okay, more work, sign up today. And they also see results, benefits, and flexibility, 50 hours a week, and then progress and gift. And they're going to see this planet Earth right here. And so they're going to see that maybe like on an ad right there. and then they're going to see like for Amazon and for receive and then deliver. So I mainly want to talk about right here of like for shipping and handling. But let's just say if there's any, as I say, yeah, if there's any seniors, as I senior citizens, one or two were that, oh, okay, well, how does that work for the medications and for the vitamins? So I tell them too about that. But anyway, but thanks for watching, everyone. Talk about shipping and handling and receiving. So far as gift, you talk about for if it costs like for the full time, more work and. And in case of anybody say that, yeah, it's like for full-time more work, but talk about basically for what we learned. But anyway, take care, everyone, and it's like if we learned anything, but talk about it's like for understanding about online orders, and take care, everyone.